Hey y'all, it's Leandra. For our first video on my channel, I want to go over my Dominican Republic trip. It was my husband and I's first trip outside of the United States, not on a cruise. We'd went on one cruise before to just kind of get our feet wet with traveling, because we in the end wanted to travel a lot more. But we wanted to like take baby steps to get there, you know, because it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing. It can be anyways. Planning and all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to kind of just go somewhere fairly close. So the Dominican was a close enough option that it was still outside the United States and somewhere we could take a plane to, because we didn't want to take a cruise again, just because on cruises you don't really get to be at that place very long. You just kind of are there for a couple hours and you have to get back on the boat. And in my opinion, and my husband as well, it's kind of just like a floating mall or something. Like there's only so much you can do on a boat. Like you end up eating so much because you paid all this money and you're just like there on the boat and you're just eating a crap ton. But anyways, it was an enjoyable experience. I mean, I would go again on a cruise if like it was with a group. You know, you want to have people there to kind of like take on the experience with and like have someone to be with, I guess. I don't know. But for us, we mainly want to travel just me and him, me and my husband. So we decided that traveling by plane was best, because we'd get there, we'd actually be where we wanted to be, and we could go and do the things we wanted to do. So the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, was our first place, and we stayed at the Majestic Elegance, and we enjoyed it. We don't normally stay at resorts anymore unless it's that kind of vacation. Like if it's just like a beach, like we just want to get away, like go to the beach, we'll do that. But we now kind of more so like to go places where we can get out and explore and do things. But we really enjoyed our Dominican trip. We in all of our travels, we kind of pick things specifically that we want to do in that place. And for the Dominican, for me, it was our monkeys, or the monkey situation. I forgot what it's called, but I'll try to link anything that I can in the description. But I had always wanted to interact with monkeys. Like monkeys were my thing when I was younger. They're squirrel monkeys. That's what it was. I was trying to think of what they were. They were squirrel monkeys, and they took you on this probably 30-minute drive up into the mountains, kind of. And once you got there, they gave you like a bowl of fruit. It's kind of like a little dog bowl or cat bowl, full of fruit. And as I was like walking toward like where they were going to do it at, like one of them like sat up on my shoulders and was like just riding me, like held on to like my head or my hair and was just riding me. And I have pictures of it, riding me to the area where we were going to do that at, because I guess they knew what was happening, what was about to come. So and then he was like picking through my hair, like trying to find bugs, I guess. So it was a super cool experience for me, because that was something that I always wanted to experience, you know. And now I've had those experiences in different places, and it's just the coolest thing ever. Like that is one of the highlights of like that vacation or that trip. But for my husband, his big thing that he wanted to do was swim with dolphins, and so we did. And just a warning, it is very expensive. But we really wanted to do it, and so we paid to go, and the other couple that we went with didn't do it because they wanted to do something else. But because this is the only trip, well, besides the cruise, that we went with this other couple. So we went by ourselves, and we did the dolphin thing, and it was super cool, that that excursion package or whatever, because you did get more with that package. When you first got there, and they took you over to this big sea lion. And it was taught to give you, like, lean over and give you a kiss on the cheek and then it would turn over to the other, like the guy that was there, that was like his handler. I don't even know how you would say that, but he would lean over to that guy and was like, okay, where's my fish? Because the guy would have to give him a fish every time he'd kiss somebody. So it was super cool. Like, they were massive. My dog's over here looking at me. He's like, what the heck are you doing? Anyways, he leaned over, or gosh, my head was crazy. But anyways, after the sea lion thing, we got down into like our bathing suit, and they gave us like all the PPE or whatever, like the stuff that we needed to have on, and we put everything in the locker or whatever, and we got to get in the water with a stingray, and don't knock it over. Go ahead, come on this side, go around. Sorry. Stop it. Stop it. You're a good boy. Good boy. Love you. Anyway. Please tell me somebody else talks to their dog that way. I know you do. But anyways, once we got in our bathing suits, he's about to knock it over. Okay, no, I didn't. There we go. Okay, we have to take a moment. What are you doing? Okay, so after we got in our bathing suits, we got in the water with the stingray, and that was a cool experience. And then we got in the water with the dolphins, and they are a lot bigger than I imagined, but they taught us like the hand signals that you're supposed to do to like get them to do different things in the water. And so it's really nerve-wracking. You're in the water like with this massive animal. It's a wild animal, even though it's trained, like he can do whatever. It's kind of like a lion or something. So I'm looking at the viewfinder. We got in, and we did like the hand signals or whatever, and they'd have you like ride it across and stuff and do different things. It would do different things and like jump above your head and everything. But I swear, whenever I did it, I was holding on to like it's like dorsal fin, and as I was going, like my leg got hung like where it wasn't supposed to be, because you're supposed to stay like however they told you. I forgot now, but you're supposed to like stay on one side of it or something like that. But my leg got caught on the other side or something, and it like beat the crap out of my leg. It was like super bruised, but I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like bad. It only hurt after the fact, because I didn't realize like what had happened until after the fact. You don't realize those things, but it was still like an awesome experience. That was just like bad on my part. So after we got done swimming with the dolphins, it was a pretty good long experience. It was plenty enough. But we went back, and they took us into this area where there's a bunch of parakeets, and you just stood out your hand, oh my gosh. You held out your hand, and they put birdseed in it, or they gave you birdseed, and they would all come, I mean, probably 10 in your hand at one time. And I got one picture of it, but it wasn't like when they first came, because I didn't think about it. I was just kind of experiencing it. So just a bunch of different colored parakeets, and it was like super cool, because I love birds too, just as much as I do monkeys probably. But it was a really cool experience. And then we went into like the gift shop, because we wanted to see our pictures. So we went in line to like see our pictures, like, oh yeah, we want that picture, that's a good picture. And they were $40 a piece for one picture, and we'd already spent all this money to be there and go on that excursion. So we're like, oh my gosh. Like, so we didn't end up getting a picture, so it sucks, because now looking back I regret it, because now I'm like, oh my gosh, we were so cheap. But at the time we were really trying to like budget to get our funds up to be able to travel more, so we were trying to like not spend so much money. But anyways, I guess moral of the story, just get the dang picture. But side note to that, make sure if you ever go swim with dolphins that you wear a really tight bathing suit, because I swear my bottoms came out like halfway down, and then like afterwards I'm thinking they had this dude videographing the whole thing for each person so that you could buy it in hopes that you'd buy it anyways. And I just kept thinking, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna look back at this video and see my bare butt sticking out of the water. But then afterwards, I was like in the water, like trying to shimmy him back up. Oh gosh, okay. Anyways, back to it. The rest of the Dominican trip was awesome. And I will say this, if you're going to go anywhere, you always need to check the weather, of course, and check like if they have seasons of things, like where we have hurricane season in Florida and stuff. Different places have seasons of different things. But I don't know if they had like a season of sea kelp, or well, I don't even know. It's like that long grassy stuff, seagrass maybe, I don't know. But it kept washing in the shore, and in the mornings they had to like rake it off. And it would still come in throughout the day, some a little bit, but I guess overnight whenever the tide came in, it can't come in a lot. But that's the one thing that was not that great about that trip, was there was a lot of it at first. And so that's kind of like an off-putting thing. Like the ocean was pretty, of course, but that seagrass or whatever it was kind of just a nuisance, and it was like gross, just trying to like swim through. You know, it wasn't as pristine as some beaches we've been to. Another thing about the hotel, I think it was a great hotel as far as or resort, I should say, but the food wasn't that great. And I mean, yeah, it's a resort, so they have to feed a bunch of people, but now looking back, we've been to other resorts like in Honduras, and their food was really great. So that's one drawback of whenever we went. The food there was not that great. We did eat it, of course, the whole time, because you can't go off the resort really. The Dominican Republic isn't very exploring friendly, I would say. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable going out myself. I will say a funny story about whenever we was coming to the hotel from the airport. We already had like a weird experience because we had forgotten to ask the hotel to come get us. So we had to just get some random person, which was kind of sketchy, or we felt sketchy about it. I mean, he was probably just doing his job, but we just had to get some random person to take us to the hotel. And it's very different than in the United States getting a taxi or anything like that. They're like yelling at you, trying to get your service, or your like for you to like have them take you somewhere. So anyways, we're in the van and we're like on this highway going like probably 60 miles an hour and or more, I don't know. And we come to like a complete stop, like in the middle of the road, like everybody, like it's a 2-lane road or highway, going 60 miles an hour, dead stop. And we look, and there are goats, like a herd of goats crossing the road. And it took them forever. Like we were just sitting there, and the guy that was like driving us was like yelling, like, "Oh," like, or like whatever, however you say that. But it was just funny looking back. Like you don't think about those things. Like you don't see herds of goats crossing the road in America. But it was really cool because I really like goats, and my mom has goats, so I thought it was hilarious. But I guess it's a nuisance for them. It'd be like cows just crossing the road. They just free range cows. Oh man, that would not be cool. Anyways, but that's all for you guys today. I will be posting some more videos of our other travels. I mean, we've been to, like I said, Honduras and Nice, France. It's like the Mediterranean side of France, or the Mediterranean, like the lower parts of France. And we've been to Switzerland, we went to Tahiti. That was more recently. And so I have a little bit more footage of that. And where else have we been? Dang, I can't even think now. But oh, and we're about to go to Positano, Italy. So that'll be super exciting, and I'll try to video a lot of that, and so I can share it with you guys. But let me know if you like this.